Well, hello folks, this is FatGuyFliesRC coming to you from the Man Cave Studios, and this is the FMS CJ-6 V2. It is Nanchang. It's their China's one of their military Air Force display team. So let's take it out of the box and see what's in the box. Some boxes, bad boy. All the specs about the plane, wingspan, gravity, what kind of motor, that will all be in the description of the video at the bottom. So please check that out. Let's take a look, see what's in the box here. Hopefully there's a CJ-6 in it. Now I've had this before, a long time ago, when it was actually very first released, and flew the dog mess out of it like I do a lot of my planes, and then I sold it. And then, like I said, I started working with FMS, and they started sponsoring me. They didn't sponsor me with this one, but I wanted it. It wasn't. They usually sponsor me with planes that they're going to put on big sales. That's when they sponsor me. But I wanted this, and I didn't want to wait for a sale. So I said I'm going to. So I got it. I think it was $250, whatever the full price is. That's what I paid. So because I wanted it. All right. Of course, you got your manual right on top here, which is unfolded, which is good. Okay. Okay. Everything's protected with this little bit of foam pieces there. Very nice wing. Very nice wing. This must have sat in the mold for quite a while. Very tight. It's got the split flaps underneath there. Retracts. Now these, I remember right, these are not suspension gear, okay, but they're just good solid retracts. All right, got everything's protected in foam. I know I didn't do the downward view, but that's okay. Now this has got the tiller style of piece of iron rod between there that connects the two rotors. You got your one little clevis connected there. Interesting enough, inside here, this is all metal inside connection for your screws to go through, so that's nice. Okay. First you got your rudder, got your propeller right here on the side. This is a very, very, very low part count here. Very nice painted propeller. Obvious, the yellow side is what goes out. What's in here? Oh. Always check little bits and pieces here. Oh yeah, here's all your screws and your push rods and all that good jazz there. Yeah. Pitot tube, screws, everything you need. Looks like we need a small Phillips head and probably a 2mm hex drive is what you'll be needing to put the plane together. Okay. Now this is a plug and play. This one does not come with a reflex in it. But I'll be using a 7-channel Lemon RX Gen 2 with the wind gyro. It doesn't have self-leveling. It's not going to self-right itself, but it will have help with the wind. It's a fairly light plane. So got a nice little pilot there with his little canopy he's got. He's got a little instrumentation in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. My camera died on me, so I can't see what y'all are seeing. Very nice cavernous battery bay there. Everything's labeled for you. XT60 connector. It's got thrust reverse. It's got a 40 amp ESC with a Predator ESC with thrust reversing. Okay, set that off to the side. All right, make sure you check every little bit and piece. Oh, it's got that inspected by medallion. That's important. Got to have that. Just got to send the plane back if we don't have that. So, all right, let me clean up my debris, put our stuff together, and we'll be right back. All right, could not have a smaller part count. Got the manual, wing, the spar is inside the wing, canopy, fuselage, elevator, and your bag of goodies, and your propeller. All right, let's get our tools together and let's start building. Alrighty, we're back. All right, now, first thing you're going to want to start out with, you've already got your rudders already attached hard, okay? So we're going to start by putting in your elevator. Now you're going to put your model on a plane stand or on a pillow or however way you want to do it, okay? You're going to slide the elevator in here, sandwiches in just like that, okay? You're going to take 2 of these longer these longer screws. Okay, you get 5 in the kit. You get 1 extra. You're gonna have, or I'm sorry, you get 7. You're gonna have 2 here, 4 for the wing, and 1 extra. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 7. FMS has a good habit of giving you an extra screw for everything. Okay, and you're gonna have 5 of the really small little metal screws, look like little wood screws, self-tapping screws. That's for your propeller assembly. Okay. Let me verify these are 2 millimeters. I'm pretty sure they are. Yes, they are. Just need a 2 millimeter hex drive. All right, where I got that in there. I can feel it going into the metal. Okay. And what I'm looking for is this gap right here. You know, if you can see it or not. That gap right there to start disappearing. If I go to the angle here, maybe you can see it. Kind of watch that gap there. Okay. It'll be more pronounced when I go to this side. It's getting much tighter now. Okay. Take another one. Actually, I've already got one in there, don't I? All right, I want to see this gap here disappear. It's really not disappearing, is it? Go this way, maybe if I can. Yeah, it's disappearing. Starting to disappear. Okay, that's in there. That one's in there. And that elevator is not coming out. That really went away. I mean, there's a little bit there still, but that elevator ain't going anywhere. All right, now, very simple plane to put together. Very simple plane. Now, before you're going to add our wing next, but before you do that, okay, before you do that, you got this bunch of wires here, okay? Well, I didn't have to undo that. I just pulled that off. Go ahead and unfurl these wires, okay? Go ahead and get them all unfurled. And this bit, gear, flap, and ailerons are what you're wanting to pay attention to. Okay, these lights, they must have come unplugged. So they're going to go, okay, they're probably going to go here. Yeah, so let's plug them back in. I'll know when I put the wing on whether I did it right or not. Okay, they probably just came unplugged. Unless there's, nope, there's light controllers inside. So don't plug these in. These are supposed to stay loose, okay? Because there's a light control there. So you're gonna have your this here, and then all your flight controls, okay? All right, now all that's going to feed into this hole here, okay? So go ahead and grab your big bundle of wires here. Let me tilt you up where you can see a little bit better what I'm doing here. Okay, go ahead and grab this bundle of wires. Okay, you should have a total of 5. Okay, you got your 2 light wires hanging down. They're just red and black there. They're just red and black. And then your 3, 1 for aileron, 1 for flap, and 1 for gear. So you're gonna have a total of 5 feeding through there. Okay. Okay. And that whole box assembly should fit flush into that wing there, that saddle there. That should fit nice and flush in there. Shouldn't have anything binding. So so it feels like something's binding. It's not wanting to sit just beautiful. So you want to just kind of keep fishing that in there. What you can do is sandwich your plane together, kind of hold it, and then reach down there with your hand and just kind of pull up on the wires, not enough to undisconnect them, just enough to make sure you've got everything coming through freely and there's nothing binding between the wing and the fuse. Okay, so go ahead and that looks good. Put that back in the saddle like that. Grab our 4 screws. Okay. When you start seeing puckering around that foam, you know you're there. I don't see that. And if you notice in this plane stand, I've got these pieces of foam. That's just extra protection for the foam of the plane. All right, I'm starting to see it pucker around there, so I'm going to stop. Start seeing little lines and dents where it's starting to pucker in. Stop right there. Don't go any further than that. There, starting to see a little puckering. That way I know that's in there. We're going to come back up here to the front of the plane. Okay. Starting to see some puckering there. Very simple. Well, typical FMS quality. It's in great shape. Works, lines up perfectly. All right, starting to see puckering. So now I know that wing is on there. Okay. Now, what you're going to want to do, okay. You got this big bundle of wires, right? Okay. But in this bundle of wires, okay, somewhere in here, okay, right here. See this right here? See this piece right here? Okay. Remember them 2 black wires that were coming out, black and red? They're just positive and negatives, these guys right here. All right, you already got one hooked up for the tail light back there, so go ahead and hook these up in your light control. This is your light controller, by the way. And just hook them up in the same fashion. Okay, so you're going to have the red there on top. Depending on how you hold it. Just follow the pattern that the other one was hooked up to. Okay, now that is how your wire is going to be hooked up. And this is hooked up to the rudder. This is just wide off for power is all that is. Okay, then you're going to take the rest of your wires, get everything ready to, like here's your flap and here's your elevator, okay. Get everything ready to where you can grab it and plug it into your receiver, okay. So that's that. This is ready for have the receiver installed. So we turn that off or turn that away for now. All right, now let's back you up again. And let's pay attention to the prop, okay? So I'm going to take the model, set it off the side, okay? Now you got your prop. Now, while we're here, let me turn off, I want to pause for just a moment. I got to turn all the air off in here. Got to show you something. All right, we're back. I'm going to show you just a simple, quick way to make sure your prop is balanced. Can't have any outside influence, no air, no anything. Okay, and no drafts. Just put your prop on something like that. Okay, now look at that. It's favoring this one here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the leading edge and I'm just going to try to file a little bit of material off of it. Just little slits of material off of there. Not much, just a little bit. And see if I can get that prop. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, perfect. Just not enough you'll ever be able to see. So now you know your prop is balanced, and that's important. Okay, so now we're going to put our prop assembly together. For that, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's get you back closer. All right, put our prop together. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, like this. Okay, you're going to need 4 of these 5 small provided screws. Now, if you look at the front of the prop shaft, it has an octagon type shape. Well, look at that right there. I don't know if it's hex or whatever it is for 6, but that gives you a clue as to how this is going to go together. So that's going to see how those 2 pegs in there. You got them cutouts on the back of the prop. Well, okay. Now this is going to go on front here like that. Sandwich that together. That's how the scale on this actual plane actually looks. Okay. Set that off to the side, and let's grab our little Phillips head screwdrivers, or Phillips head screws. These are countersunk screws. Okay. And this is all you're doing. This is just a glorified spinner. Is really all this is. Just a scaled out spinner. Okay. Something that squeezes that prop to get in there. Yeah, they bottom out pretty quick. You don't have to go, it doesn't require much in the way of screwing that in. You notice I haven't even opened up the manual yet? Now, when I want to look at suggested throws, anything like that, they may have the manual. I may use that, but pretty much I've put so many of these together, and I've put this one together before that I remember it. Okay. I know my prop is balanced now. Yeah, that has a very definite bottoming out point. Well, that's how that should look. You got that. We're not going to give power to it, but the whole shaft should come through there now. Come on. Come on. Hold on. Yeah. See, it's got to fit all the way through there, and that hexagon shape has got to fit in there. May take some doing. You may have to hold your motor to where it lines up on there. All right. Let me fiddle with it, but it's got to seat all the way on there. So let me fiddle with it, and I'll just go over what I do. All right. All I did is I put just a touch of silicone spray, just a touch on the prop itself, okay, and the shaft itself. And I kept moving the finger. I would hold the motor with the tool just enough to where I could line that hexagon shape, line it up with the prop or the prop adapter, and then it slid right on. Now all this nut here does, this is decorative, but all it does is just hold the prop on. What makes the prop turn is the fact it's on that hub. And then the fact that it's on there, it is not going to come off, okay? Yeah, just the pressure alone is not going to let that thing come off of there. All right. And just so you know, you can't put the prop on wrong. Just remember the yellow side is what faces you, okay? Now, The only other thing we have to do, other than getting it electronically set up, is there's a place on here on one of these wings. Okay, they show the, so, okay, it's for this pitot tube. And it looks like there should be there's a small itty, okay, I see it. You can't see it, but I can see it. Okay, let's get you where you can see this. Okay, if you look, looks like there's a, well, I lost it now. Where is it at in the picture? Okay, in the picture, it's, see where it's at, kind of halfway down. Okay, so I'm looking for a small indentation right there. And it just happens to be where it's at, right there. And there's a small little stopping point there. Just push that in, and that's as far as it goes, right there. And that pressure alone, okay? You can kind of see that little indentation in the paint, and that's all you have to do. And that, folks, and after all is said and done, you should still have your connection for your elevator, one large wing bolt, and one prop adapter, decorative prop adapter, wood screw left over. And that's it. And that is the very simple, very, very non-complex, or simple, same thing, of the FMS CJ-6. All right, we got her all together. Now, let me get a receiver in there. Get her all bound up. It's a plug and play, so whatever receiver protocol you like to use, whatever system you like to use, and okay, well, then that's just what you install. You have to get your own radio, your own receiver. But all right, let me get one in, and then we'll go over how it looks all lit up, and then we'll at the field after the maiden. Then I'll share all the flying rates and everything with it because I like you to see the plane in action for the first time, and then I'll land and say, okay, you saw it in action, and here's all the rates and everything I used. So, alrighty, hold on. We'll be right back with it all lit up and bound. Well, hey, folks, this is FatGuyFliesRC coming from the Man Cave. All right, I got the CJ-6 version 2 here all together. And, yeah, this is a different day. I had to come up and finish this video after the fact, and I've already flown it and done 2 flights with it. And she flies amazing, but this is just a follow-up of the unbox and build. As you can see, she's all put together. Interestingly enough, the nose wheel is not the stock nose wheel, and if you notice that the spinner is gone. Last night, after I did the unbox and build, I was taxiing around the driveway, and I guess I didn't anchor that down, and it's gone. And I have no idea where, so I just happened to have a bolt that happened to fit on there perfectly. So that was that. And then today, after the maiden, and when I was doing the speed run fun trial, I was going to come in for a landing, and I noticed, and it's something I didn't do, there's a screw that goes through here, and it has a hard metal housing it screws into. Well, apparently I didn't make sure that was tight, and the vibration of flying this, that, and the other, it just came out. And I was going to do a landing, I'm like, well, something doesn't look right. And so I had to do an emergency belly landing, obviously with the flaps down and the gear up, because there was no wheel. The wheel just vibrated out, and the long screw just went bye-bye. Now, interestingly enough, the wing bolt, the extra wing bolt will work if you can find yourself a wheel that fits in there, which I just happen to have one. And however, you won't have anything hanging out, anything on the other side to kind of screw on. Now, it does go into that metal housing to screw into, so if you want to trust it, but I just didn't want to have a repeat, so I took a screw that would fit all the way through, then put a locking nut on the other side, and that way I know this is not going to happen again. Having that security gave me a trade-off, is I had to remove a little bit of foam there so that gear will sit down in there with that screw hanging out. Otherwise, it would rest right there, and that's hard on the gear to constantly be interrupted like that. That is not the plane's fault. Okay, I should have made sure that was tight. And these are mass produced, and so you need to check all these connection points and check everything, make sure everything's nice and tight. And I didn't check that, so it cost me a wheel and cost me an axle. So I just happened to have a screw that fit, and that just works out perfectly. Other than that, the plane flies. I'm not going to give you the, I want you to watch the maiden and the speed trial, fun trial, in order to I'll give you all the rates and everything in those. But I will tell you right now, this thing is absolutely phenomenal flying plane. That's a spoiler alert. I can just tell you that right now. I mean, everything works great, flies great, and this is one fabulous flying warbird. It really is. Oh, and CG, I don't know if I covered it in the unbox and build, but it's 60 to 70 millimeters back from the leading edge root, which I got some glue marks there, and put her right there. She just CG's perfectly right there. All right, let's do it with the gear down, because I like it with the gear down. Like she's going to land, and yeah. And just to let you know, a 2700 4S, you'll get 7 minutes easy out of it. All right, well, that's just the follow-up for the unbox and build. Make sure you check out the maiden and the speed trial, fun trial, which will be coming up in a few more days. God bless y'all, and don't forget, Faith, family, and friends, and then CJ-6s from FMS. Bye, y'all.